is Valley News Live at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. Here's a look at today's top 4 at 4. Police in Jamestown have arrested a man accused of kidnapping and assaulting someone, possibly at gunpoint. On Friday, a Jamestown detective took a report of a sexual assault that occurred at 1530 6th Avenue Southwest. As police investigated, they found information alleging aggravated assault causing serious injury and a kidnapping. It was also alleged the suspect was armed with a handgun. Multiple police agencies worked to find the suspect and stopped his car on the West Business Loop. Police are still investigating. They say more charges are possible. At this point, 23-year-old Samuel Middlelighter has been arrested on suspicion of gross sexual imposition, kidnapping, and aggravated assault. 2 men are in jail after a shooting at a strip club near Devil's Lake over the weekend. Police say early Saturday, as the men were leaving Wally's Roadhouse, one suspect grabbed a gun from his car and gave it to the other suspect, who fired it at the building. One man was shot in the leg. The Ramsey County Sheriff's Office says one man was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. The other man is facing an accomplice to attempted murder charge. New information on a fire that happened early this morning near Barnesville. A Barnesville police officer on patrol spotted the fire around 2:30 this morning. The Clay County Sheriff says it appears to have started in the area of the building that housed a chicken coop. They're still trying to figure out how it started. Chickens were killed, a van, a camper, and several other items inside the building were destroyed. It's been 1 week since a Dilworth man was last seen, and police are asking for your help finding him. 60-year-old Kenneth Bosby took a cab to the Fargo Amtrak station with luggage in hand before turning around and heading back to his apartment in Dilworth. Authorities say his bags and phone are still at his apartment, and no one has spoken to him since February 7th. Mr. Bosby is 5'8", 180 pounds. If you've seen him or have any idea where he could be, contact Dilworth Police at the number on your screen, 218-287-2666. Now, here's a first look at our weather with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hutch.
Well, it's been a brutal last several days of weather, and in fact, many of us are on our 10th day of sub-zero weather. Let's take comparison, though, as this cold has spread all the way south into Texas. Right now, Fargo is remaining below zero for a high temperature right through the weekend. 3 below now as we've lost a degree. Look at Kansas City, Missouri, below zero. Oklahoma City has 3 degrees for an air temperature, and Dallas, Texas is 13 degrees right now. We have a wind chill advisory. We've been downgraded from warnings the last several nights, so that means not as brutal tonight, but still dangerous wind chills out there, with some of the coldest wind chills off to the central and western part of the area where there is a little bit more in the way of wind. Tonight, Fargo, crystal clear skies, temperatures sneaking down into the teens below. It will be coldest in central Minnesota, where the air temperatures will likely once again dip down into the 20s to near 30 below zero. Teens below in Grand Forks this evening. Coming up, hour by hour details on this warmer weather we are tracking. It's not pretend, it's actually going to happen. I'll have the details on how warm we get and why here in just a few minutes.
Fantastic, Hutch. Thanks so much. Minnesota is nearing a milestone in their COVID-19 vaccine rollout. According to the state's Department of Health, nearly 1 million doses of the vaccine have been administered. More than 238,000 people have completed their 2-dose sequence. Meanwhile, the state's latest positivity rate, 3.9%. That's the lowest they've seen since late June. The federal government started shipping doses of the COVID-19 vaccine directly to some pharmacies last week. Thrifty White has received about 8,000 doses in Minnesota, 2,000 in North Dakota. They're expecting a similar amount in the weeks ahead. With 84 locations across North Dakota and Minnesota, the pharmacy says they play an important role in getting shots to people in rural areas. Thrifty White is only vaccinating those over 65 right now. You can sign up for an appointment right on their website. More slots will open up either tonight or tomorrow morning. The pharmacy is also launching a wait list soon, where you'll be able to sign up if you fall into any of the Tier 1 priority groups. The federal government is struggling to find enough vaccines into Americans' arms. Vice President Kamala Harris is pointing a finger at the previous administration. This comes as experts warn of a surge in cases from COVID variants, and some states are dropping their mask mandates. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
Vice President Kamala Harris says the Biden administration is starting from scratch when it comes to boosting the nation's COVID-19 vaccination effort.
There was no national strategy or plan for vaccinations. We were leaving it to the states and local leaders to try and figure it out.
States are opening more mass vaccination sites and expanding eligibility, but they're missing one critical element.
It's constrained by one thing now, simply supply.
This comes as experts warn of a surge in cases from variant strains.
The next 14 weeks, I think, will be the worst of the pandemic. People don't want to hear that.
That surge could set back the federal government's push to reopen schools.
Epidemiologist Michael Osterholm advised President Biden during the transition.
We will get some open beyond what we have now, but then it's going to likely be a real challenge for them in the next 6 to 8 weeks as these surge numbers begin to increase.
A vaccination clinic was set up in Chicago this President's Day to inoculate 120 teachers and public school employees. Federal reopening guidelines do not mandate teacher vaccination. And beginning Monday, healthcare.gov is open for a special enrollment period to help those who lost health insurance during the pandemic. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
An Israeli foundation awarded Dr. Anthony Fauci with a $1 million prize today, crediting him with courageously defending science in the face of uninformed opposition during the COVID crisis. As the number of new COVID cases starts to decline across the country, the vaccination effort is steamrolling ahead. So far, nearly 53 million people have received at least their first dose of the vaccine. According to the CDC, more than 14 million people are now fully vaccinated. The dip in new cases has been fairly sharp, falling from 247,000 to 88,000 over the last 30 days. Staying on top of the latest COVID vaccine-related information is easy. Just have the VNL vaccine tracker handy. To check it out, visit our website or simply open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen. Then tap the link that pops up. Healthcare.gov is now open for millions of Americans who need health insurance through the Affordable Care Act. The Biden administration launching a special enrollment period today to allow people to obtain health insurance during the pandemic. The website again is healthcare.gov. The special enrollment period closes May 15th. President Joe Biden signed an executive order last month intended to strengthen access to the ACA. The Richland County Sheriff's Office is asking for information regarding vandalism to mailboxes in rural Wyndmere and Barney, North Dakota. If you know anything regarding this or if your mailbox was damaged, you're asked to call the Sheriff's Office at the number on your screen, 701-642-7711. Valley News Team's Brian Sharad has been nominated for the United Way's Social Media Maven Award. You're looking at video from the virtual nomination ceremony today. United Way says the Social Media Maven Award is for a community member who uses their online platform to rally others to make a difference. Brian has emerged as an engaging and uplifting figure in the FM area in just the few months that he's been here. The United Way will hold their award ceremony virtually on March 25th. Congrats from all of us to Brian. And college football is back. The Bison will take on Youngstown State on Sunday for their first game of the spring season. The Farmers Union Insurance pregame show starts at 1:30, taking you all the way up to kickoff at 2:30. You can, of course, catch all of the action on KVLY. Coming up on Valley News Live at 4, 100-year-old records being shattered across the country. We'll look at the winter storm that's bringing Oklahoma and Texas to a halt.
And after nearly 2 weeks of near zero or below zero weather here across the valley, things are looking better. How warm will we get? I'll have hour-by-hour details in your extended forecast coming up right after this.